Because of the Affordable Care Act, allowing people who are 26 to stay on their parents' insurance and making sure that coverage extends to the calendar year beyond that, I was covered for the surgery that saved my life.
We were sitting in a hospital bed, and this was the day after her surgery while she was recovering, and we knew we were going to be starting chemo shortly after, and we just looked at each other, and we both knew that we wanted to go through that married.
There's a certain part of marriage vows that have to do with sickness and health and as long as we both may live. And when we first got engaged, that seemed like forever. You know, when most people get engaged, it's I want to be with you forever. And we didn't know, we still don't know how long our forever is going to be. So those words came out in a bit of a squeak from me.
Yeah.
So
I had to stop and wipe away a lot of tears.
Yeah, there were a lot of tears.
And it lowered the cost of health care. No one talks about that. Healthcare costs as a percentage of our economy are finally not going up faster than inflation. If they had a plan to do that, we'd be supporting it. No. What do they have? They have they have a cold, hard repeal and let the chips fall where they fall. That's their plan. And why are they doing it? Because they've been lying for 8 years, right? They've been lying for 8 years about this law. They haven't had the courage to tell their constituents what this law is doing for them.
She graduated from law school in Miami. She moved up to live with me in Delaware. We had our whole lives ahead of us. We were planning our wedding, and one day everything changes when we go to the emergency room, and then a week later it's not only cancer, it's stage 4 cancer. And
shortly after that, the following month, I was diagnosed with multiple myeloma, which is a blood cancer.
I received chemotherapy at Johns Hopkins, and the Affordable Care Act literally saved my life.
Because I had the coverage I had through the ACA, I could have the stent put in that allows me to talk to you today.
The surgery was only the first time that the ACA saved my life. When that policy expired in January of the following year, I was only halfway through my chemo. And so I was still able to get a policy because of the ACA and finish my chemo. And I'm hoping that the ACA or, provisions similar to the ACA, if they do end up repealing it, will be able to save me again because it looks more and more like a recurrence is happening.
Taking away medical coverage for 22 million people is no way to make America great again.
I guess you got here too late to get inside. Is that what happened?
Yeah, by the time we got here, they were telling people to go outside for the overflow to the overflow to the overflow. So, but we're very happy that we stayed.
Tell me these people are not going to get sworn into office, come and sign up for health insurance on our plan, and then go to the floor of the House of Representatives and vote to deny 23 million Americans health care in America. Tell me that's not going to happen.
I'm really thrilled that this many people were willing to come out and fight on our behalf. For us, it's, a fight of, life or death, financial ruin or not. And for other people to come out and fight for people like me and all the people that are covered under the ACA, it's really inspiring. It gives me hope.
That moment during the Republican debate of 2012, let them die. What do we say to our fellow Americans to convince them that another approach might be warranted?
We have to ask ourselves as a nation and simply as individuals what we value. And I'm very sympathetic to people financially hurting. Trust me, my premiums are very high. But we have to ask ourselves whether we hold that value, whether we are willing to let people die. And we cannot think of people in the abstract. You have to think of people as the people in your life. You have to think of it as you, because it might be you. It was me. And I was 26. I ran a half marathon the year before I was diagnosed. You don't know when you're going to get sick. And we have to ask ourselves, do we value human life over our own inconvenience, over a couple $100 that you wouldn't have spent? And to that, I'm not saying that the problems with the ACA aren't persisting, and even President Obama himself has said, if there's a better plan, I would love to hear it. And I am of the same opinion. It's not about politics, it's about people, it's about patience, and it's about valuing human life.